Okay. Okay, my name's Joseph. I'm an alcoholic, and it's wonderful to be speaking at a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. It really is to be given the opportunity to give back something, a fellowship that has given so much to me. Uh, a way of living, and a strength and um, a group of people that have shown me the way to do something that I could not do for myself. And uh, so the thing is that I used to drink, and it took me all the way down to Skid Row in Los Angeles. I graduated college in New York, grew up, uh, was born in New York, grew up in New York, decided to go out to Los Angeles, seek my fortune, and my drinking was way out of control. I mean, I could tell stories. We all could tell stories, but you know, it was endangering my life, endangering other people's lives. So there's five areas that people struggle in, that they have to take a look at their drinking if it's impacting is legal, finance, health, friends and family, and romance. And yeah, I would ding on all those. I was getting DUIs. I was spending a lot of much money. Able to, you know, wasn't able to get my ship into the port that I wanted to. And that's how I meandered through life. And that's the best I could do with tools I was given, right? And so I drank because of the problems that I created by my own hand, that came upon me, and I wanted to wash them away. And booze was a way to do that. And then when I found out that you know there's there's no there's no good time anymore with me and booze, and so I had to part ways. And I was told that there was an allergy, in my body that, if I pick up a drink, that it sets off an allergic reaction, different than for other people, and that's the alcohol variety with regards to beverage alcohol. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to talk about all the fellowships, it's just it comes down to crossing a line that I didn't want to cross, and doing it anyway, and that's what I continually had done. And so when I came into Alcoholics Anonymous and met you people, and you provided me a methodology to you know stay sober one day at a time, to not only not drink, but to live a life beyond my wildest dreams. And that was the whole thing, is that alcohol, really kicked me into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, where I was meant to be. I really believe that God in His wisdom, um, gave gave me this disease that caused me to crave a solution, and I ultimately, came upon the wound of Alcoholics Anonymous, which provided one. And what what was done, the 12 steps are a set of principles that spiritual. It says this in the 12 and 12 actually. It's a quote. AA's 12 steps are a group of principles, spiritual in their nature, which, if practiced as a way of life, can expel the obsession to drink, and enable the sufferer to become happily and usefully. And that's the thing, is that, like, I wanted to be happily and usefully whole. I that's what I wanted. That's what I want today. And this was a methodology to get there. So what were those principles to be? I went and I actually I crawled up the steps of rehab on February 29th, 1996. Went into rehab in Los Angeles, and that was where I met people that were familiar with the book and provided me, a way of understanding the um, the stuff that we talk about. And so the 12 steps are going to repair three main relationships: relationship with God, relationship with myself, relationship with others. And it does that in you know in a basic format. The first three steps, it takes me and reconnects me with a God of my understanding, a relationship, how to understand God, not to understand God in the totality, to be able to understand, everything about God, the universe, everything. That's not what this is about. That's not what I'll focus on forward. To understand the relationship with a higher power, to understand, you know, and there's a lot of uh, you know there's a chapter, We Agnostics, which talks a lot about you know that we really don't understand a lot of things that we use day to day. I don't understand how this phone works. I don't understand how a car even works, but I use it. And I understand the principles and the relationship I have with the car. I can send an email even though I don't understand all the things that are going to happen, after I hit send. And so that's the thing, is that you guys provided me with, you said to me, if you follow this path and you do the things we did, you will feel the relief that we felt, you know. A salesman friend of mine told me, the way you want to, talk to somebody who's coming into doing a new way of doing anything. Feel, felt, found, right? I know how you feel. I felt the emotion, and that's what the big book actually provides. And if you go through the readings, it hammers in the beginning, a lot of disasters that came with drinking and using, and then it provides a solution that can be employed, to rectify that, and then guidance on how to actually put it into practice. So that's the thing, is that I took hold of that. I became part of this fellowship, and my life has qualitatively changed. Not just that I don't drink, but I'm also, I'm a man of God. I wake up, and my ultimate purpose is to serve my higher power. You know, I have a connection with page 63 in the big book. That I feel like is my employment contract, because the people who wrote this book, gave us a heads up on what they actually experienced back in the day when they did the things that they did, and I'll read it to you. If you go to page 62, this is the how and why of it. First of all, we had to quit playing God, right? And so that's something we want to pause and say, how is it that I'm playing God? And the sponsor that took me through the work, I asked me, and I had to find out that I was a slave to my thoughts, opinions, and attitudes. That's what playing God means. Doesn't mean that I'm the Almighty, that I like, somehow, you know, think that I can run the universe or anything like that. But when I am the ultimate authority on everything, um, I'm a slave to those thoughts, opinions, and attitudes. I'm not open-minded. I'm not honest. I'm not willing. So first, when it says, first of all, we had to quit playing God, has to release myself. Let God do His thing. You know, whatever the conception of the things that's running the universe, or the plan, or the higher power. Um, and the reason why is it didn't work. Next, we decided that in a hereafter in the drama of life, God was going to be our director, right? That's a relationship that I can understand. I know what a director is. Seen a director. I know that the director's on the set of movie studios, etc., etc. Tells people where to go, where to be. Okay, God's going to be a director. Got it. He is the principal. Principal is not like in school, but as a business owner, is the authority, the one that gives uh, credence to to the um, to the business, and I'm his agent. That's what it says here. We are his agents. And he is a father, right? Now I understand the relationship of a father. Father's going to take care of me. Father's going to, invoke discipline at times. But ultimately, at the end of the day, my for my benefit. And I understand those relationships. God of my understanding can be infused in these ways of understanding. And then it says he's the father. And this concept was the keystone of the triumphant of the keystone of the new and triumphant arch to which you pass freedom. Okay. So now, so now I'm getting a relationship with God. That's what the first three steps provide. Brings me to a point where I have a connection back with a higher power. And I'm able to see things differently. Power that's greater than myself, and can help me with this problem. And it can come through in the form of advice from you guys, and knowledge, and the book. And then the reported experience, the actual reported experience from the guys in the 30s, when we sincerely took such an approach, all sorts of remarkable things happened. We had a new employer, right? A new employer. That's another relationship I can understand. The employee-employer relationship. Being all powerful, he provided what we needed. If we kept close to him and performed his work well. Established on such footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves, our little plans and designs. More and more, we became interested in what we can contribute to life. As we felt new power flow in, we enjoyed peace of mind. As we discovered we could face life successfully, right? Successfully, that's something I was looking for. As we became conscious of his presence, as we began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, or the hereafter we were reborn. And that's actually the reported experience of the people that put this book together. And they said, if you do these things, if you get into the work, do the steps, get a sponsor, get direction, do it, do the way that we've been doing things, you will have a similar experience, you know. And that's all Alcoholics Anonymous purport to be. We don't solve financial crises. We're not relationship counselors. Not a place to bring sad stories. You know, but if you're interested in realigning your life with a power greater than yourself, to get on board with an orderly way of doing things, then that's what Alcoholics Anonymous provides. And I've had some amazing, miraculous experiences with with the work, with my sponsors, sponsees, connections, um, and I and for me personally, I went from being a drunk who couldn't, put put himself together, pissing his pants, laying on the ground in 1996, not knowing, you know, where he was going to get his next drink from, to living in the city that I wish to live in, doing the things I want to do, living in an apartment that I like, having friends. I'm invited places. I'm sought after as far as like people enjoying my company. That's not something that was going on when I was employing the negative principles. Um, when I was not doing the work, because and I think it's like for all of humanity, that we can straighten ourselves out if we employ these principles. We want to live by principles. We want to take care of ourselves, pay our bills, make your bed, etc., etc. A lot of things. But the thing is that, like, where do you get the energy? Where do you get the commitment? Where do you get the um, connection to do that? That's that's where this touches off, and that's what I've been able to experience. And been, you know, it astounds me on a daily basis that I've been able to enjoy this life that I've lived, and the people that I get to come in contact with are some of the finest people that I've ever met in my life. You know, people that are giving, caring, you know, go out of the way. And so I'm not. I'll tell you. Um, oh, by way of just introduction, the reason I came to from Los Angeles to Jerusalem was to study and to get a degree, basically to become a rabbi here in Jerusalem, which I attained, and that's what I did here. That's why I came to Jerusalem. And that was not easy to do, to leave America and to come over here and to embrace Jerusalem AA and everything like that, and foreign language, foreign money, this sort of thing. But that's where my God wanted me, and I was in tune with that, and it felt good, and I was able to. I wasn't flying off the handle. I wasn't making crazy decisions like I used to do. That got me in a position where I needed a drink. That's ultimately the the way it goes, is that we make decisions based on ourselves, on our ego, that put us in a position to be hurt, to be resentful, to need a drink, to need some comfort. And maybe it's not drinking. Maybe it's people gravitate over to gambling, or act out sexually, or overeat, this and that. And the thing is that, like, for me, I feel that I've come into a real partnership with God of my understanding, that I'm employed by Him. He gives me a mission to do on a daily basis. One of the things is to give back, and like you know, you know, speaking at this meeting, and to sponsor people, to pass the message to the best of my ability. You know, and I look at people. I'm not unaware of the fact that there's a lot going on in our world that's reason to be anxiety, to foster anxiety, or to foster sadness, and to foster a lot of things. But I go back to, something that's quoted in the book about on page 417, which was not in the original material of Alcoholics Anonymous. It was actually from Dr. Paul O. He wrote a story called Bronze Moccasins, actually, and now it's been rebranded as Acceptance is the Answer. So on page 417, if you look at it, and acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I'm disturbed, is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact in my life, unacceptable to me. I can find no serenity until I accept the person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes. And when I focus on that, the day works out better, you know? And like, so we had a struggle here at the beginning, with getting internet connections, and, like, I could have been, off the wall, but like, oh my God, what are they gonna think? We can't get it together, and what are they gonna think of me? Da, 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 da. But it's not relevant to me today because I'm I'm cool and comfortable and connected with my higher power that says it's gonna be okay. There's some reason why it's happening. Don't know exactly, but but it's if I can do something about it. My first sponsor, I'll end with this. I don't know where I'm with time, but I'll wrap up with this. He said there's three kinds of business. There's my business, your business, and God's business, right? And I spend, and he was telling me that he spends a lot of time, in the two areas that he has no business being in, in your business and God's business. If I just focus on my business, the stuff that I need to do, not like what's going on over there, what needs to be corrected by somebody else. It's a shame that in our society it's just, the way it is, that people just, you know go and feel the need to like make changes in other people, and in other things, um and find disturbance when there's a pushback. Oh, you know what? Well, actually, okay. I think I'm good on time, so I'll just read one last thing that is something that all people need to hear to um to get it to, to get it correct. Um, okay, so here on page 61, it's amazing. So it's talking about how we try to arrange everything, right? So our drinking came as a function of like trying to arrange everything to be perfect, to suit ourselves, because we had a problem with everything. So it talks about this actor that wasn't comfortable with how things were unfolding, and wanted to arrange the lighting and the ballet and everything over there. So on page 61 it says what usually happens: the show doesn't come off very well. He begins to think life doesn't treat him right. He decides to exert himself more. He becomes on the next occasion still more demanding or gracious, as the case may be. Still, the play does not suit him, admitting he be somewhat at fault, right? So he's going to say that he's somewhat at fault, but that other people are, he's sure that other people are more to blame. He becomes angry, indignant, self-pitying. What is his basic trouble, right? So let's boil it down. Let's get down to brass tacks. Is he not really a self-seeker, even when trying to be kind, right? That's my basic trouble. Is that when I'm trying to be a self-seeker, it doesn't it doesn't matter what my words are. If I'm really being selfish, I'm gonna be bent out of shape a lot of the time. And this is the line that is pure gold. Is he not a victim of the delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if only he manages well, right? So if I manage well, that's what I've been told, you know, since I was playing in the sandbox all the way up to I made it through business school. If I manage well, I'll be happy. That's but that is a delusion. It says it right here. Is he not a is he not a victim of the delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if only he manages well? And that's the thing, is that, like, on a daily basis, if I'm trying to manage everything and make everything right, and I'm gonna be harried and uncomfortable. It's gonna push me towards a drink. But I'm in acceptance, makes me, and I focus on my how I can serve, right, and how I can add to the world. Then I'm in, a blissful place. I can feel good about myself, and I can meet people like you, and that's what brought me to Tennessee tonight, right? Uh, to hear about how you guys do it.